What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country in Washington, D.C., and everything you need to know about on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stock market, the fourth stimulus package update, stimulus check update, and daily news. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to subscribe right now by clicking the subscribe button. It's completely free to do so, and so you won't miss out on new videos that come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also help us reach 400,000 subscribers. We just hit 399,000. So if you're part of our YouTube channel, help us reach 400,000 subscribers by subscribing right now. And also, we got some breaking news here today, starting with Russian President Putin, and it's not good. Check this out.
We do want to turn back to the breaking news out of Russia at this hour, where the president there, Vladimir Putin, just signed a decree that recognizes two breakaway regions in eastern Ukraine as independent states. Now, this is a move that Western allies have warned Putin could use as a pretext for an invasion of Ukraine. Joining me again now, NBC's Matt Bodner in Moscow. Matt, walk us through this. What does this recognition mean for Russia and for Ukraine?
Thank you, Aaron. Well, that's a big question now. So one of the immediate questions is what do we mean when we recognize the independence of Luhansk or Donetsk? The rebel authorities, the rebel groups, do not control the entire kind of official areas that you would consider that on the map, on Ukraine's map, are Donetsk and Luhansk. So there's a question there. Are they just recognizing the parts that the rebels currently control, or is this now a justification to push the Ukrainian military back from the line of contact to essentially the formal boundaries of this region proper? And I do just want to back up for a minute to the actual signing ceremony itself. This came at the end of a very long, fiery speech. We talked about it earlier this hour from Vladimir Putin. Something truly incredible to see from him. Unlike anything we've seen previously, I've been covering him for a long time now, rooted in historical grievances. I'm not really sure there's a more key takeaway from this speech than saying, you know, we have been kind of wondering when the case would be made to the Russian people for action in Ukraine. I think this speech was it. He goes through, he openly questioned Ukrainian sovereignty, basically described it as a historical mistake that Russia has been taken advantage of over the past 30 years by the West. Grievance was laced throughout this speech, and it was really quite astonishing. And also, it's clear now that basically everything we saw today, to some extent, was choreographed from the early reports this morning of a Ukrainian military incursion, or attempted incursion on Russia's borders proper. This led to statements made in the Security Council meeting that Vladimir Putin held earlier today. And now at the end of the speech, he stopped talking, it panned out to a room, and he was on one side of the room and the two separatist leaders in the other. This was all a big show. What he does now, we don't know, but he's made his case.
Yeah, so Putin is kind of given a reason here for parts of Ukraine now being independent, not actually being part of Ukraine, kind of generating the story here. And then next, check this out here. Next, Putin actually orders troops into Ukraine after this shocking declaration. So whether this is considered an invasion, we will have to see what the U.S., NATO, and the EU, the European Union, considers here. But there are troops actually going into parts of Ukraine now. You can see here from Yahoo News, Russian President Putin has ordered Russian, quote, peacekeeping troops. Peacekeeping troops to the pro-Kremlin regions of Luhansk and Donetsk, after unilaterally declaring that these two chunks of eastern Ukraine should be considered independent states. So the president of Russia is declaring that Ukraine should be independent. Not Ukraine should be independent. The president of Russia is declaring this. How that works is beyond me. This dramatic escalation, which many fear could lead to an all-out war, followed the address to his nation today, in which the Russian president formally announced the immediate recognition of the pro-Kremlin regions of these two areas, which stretch over 6,500 miles, as independent of Ukraine. So he announces this, not Ukraine. Putin says if Ukraine was to join NATO, it would serve as a direct threat to the security of Russia. All right. The Russian leader said he undermined Ukraine as a country that, quote, has never had a tradition of genuine statehood. So he should just invade them, I guess. Accused the U.S. of blackmailing Russia with threats of sanctions. Remember, the EU has done that now as well. And warned of the Western efforts to try to convince us over and over again that NATO is a peace-loving and purely defensive alliance, adding, quote, we know the real value of such words. So with Putin now ordering troops into Ukraine regions, this definitely presents a significant change of news, and we will have to see what the reactions are from the US, from NATO, and from the EU, the European Unions, and what they consider this, whether they consider this an actual invasion or these, quote, breakaway unions, and what the Ukrainian president says. Also, President Biden will be blocking investment trade in the areas of Ukraine recognized as independent by Putin. And the U.S. has discussed plans for the Ukrainian leader to leave Kyiv if Russia invades. Meanwhile, this news sent the stock market down yet again today. The Dow Jones down 232 points here today as it continues its slide on the fears of this happening and worldwide complications, as well as the price of oil skyrocketing because of this complications and the price of gas. And the NASDAQ down about twice as much in relations to a percentage, down over 1.2% here. So this is affecting Americans' pocketbooks because remember, about 50% of Americans or more have money in the stock market through 401ks, pensions, IRAs, or just regular money in the stock market. Also, experts and President Biden say that if Russia does invade Ukraine, obviously this will get a lot more complicated. And Russia is the world's #2 biggest exporter and maker of oil and gas. And the EU has now said that they will stop buying gasoline, as well as if the U.S. and many parts of the world. So experts say that the price of oil could skyrocket to over $120 per barrel if this escalation actually happens, which seems to be heading that way. Russia has almost 200,000 troops at the border now, and I mean, if you just look at this realistically, it just doesn't seem like it's de-escalating. It seems like it's escalating. The GOP, which stands for the Grand Old Party, aka the Republican Party, wishes Happy President's Day to all past presidents, except for President Biden here today. You can't make this stuff up. Here's their actual tweets from the Republican Party, the GOP. Check this out. I'll remove myself from the corner here so you can see this full screen here. So this is from the GOP actual Twitter account. You can see here they wish Happy President's Day. It says Happy President's Day to all, or to such great U.S. presidents. And in the middle it says not you, with a picture of President Biden. Honestly, again, I don't consider myself a Republican or a Democrat. I don't think this sends the right message. I think this is really sad. I think if the Democrats did this as well, I think this would be sad as well. I think this sends the wrong message. I really do. I mean, they show all these Republican presidents, and then they say not you to the current president. I just don't think this sends the right message. I think this is the problem that we have with Congress, right? This is actually official from the official GOP uh, Twitter account. I mean, they have 2.7 million followers, right? Um, yeah, and you look at the top response here. The top response says, "Look, when presidents actually got along they all shared the same love for the country they served." And you can see here, they show a picture of all these past presidents, Republicans and Democrats alike. We have Bill Clinton, George Bush Sr., Obama. When you look at this, that's what unity is about. That's what our country should be about, right? Let me know your thoughts if you think differently here. This is the message I think that we should be sending here to our country. Not happy President's Day to all presidents except for Democratic presidents. Or if the Democrats sent this message, I wouldn't agree with it either. It's happy President's Day to all Democratic presidents except for Republican president. That's just not the right message. And that's the problem we have with Congress, right? When Republicans controlled the House, the Senate, and the presidency, Democrats didn't want to work with the Republicans. And now when Democrats control everything, Republicans don't want to work with Democrats. And that's the problem we have with our country, is that neither party wants to help the other party. And what ends up happening is that we, the people, those famous lines, we, the people, are the ones that end up getting hurt. We, the people that need the assistance, that need the help, we, the people that elect these officials, that elect these presidents, that elect these parties, these Republican parties, these Democratic parties, the people that these parties that are supposed to be representing us, we, the people, right? I mean, I just sometimes feel like both these parties are sometimes not representing us in the way they should. And I'm not even singling out just the Republican Party here. I just feel like in the spirit here that both parties could do a much better job sometimes. I mean, you let me know your thoughts in the comments, but I feel like they need to come together a lot better than what they do. And I mean, we're in a pandemic. We're in a 1 in 100 year pandemic where almost 1 million Americans have died now, just from this pandemic, and it's still going to probably go on for a while. And even if the pandemic ended tomorrow, think about how many people are living in poverty. 63% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck or are behind on bills. I really feel like there needs to be more bipartisan support. Now, interestingly enough, I actually have a story here from a Republican here that actually could gather some bipartisan support here today. Check this out.
There's fresh optimism this morning for those hoping to revive the expanded child tax credit. Republican Senator Mitt Romney is pushing a new version of the bill, one that he hopes could gain support from both sides of the aisle. NBC's Ali Vitale has more on that. So, Ali, walk us through Senator Romney's new proposal, and does it have a chance?
Yeah, look, Joe, this comes against the backdrop of what Steph just laid out. We were already seeing inflation at grocery stores, higher prices because of supply chain issues that stemmed from the pandemic. The child tax credit was one of the things done early on in the pandemic by Congress to help alleviate that financial strain for Americans. Of course, it lapsed at the end of last year when Congress couldn't come to consensus to extend it along with the rest of Biden's Build Back Better agenda. But now there is some renewed momentum here in Congress on the Republican side of the aisle. Senator Mitt Romney, one of those Republicans, coming forward with his own plan. This one includes strict work requirements, as well as slashing programs that aid vulnerable Americans, as well as proposing making significant changes to the tax codes. Some of those things could be sticking points for Democrats. But that being said, Romney just last week with reporters said he was in the preliminary phases of discussions with some Democrats on this, trying to come to some consensus on doing the child tax credit as a standalone bill in a bipartisan fashion. We know that in terms of Build Back Better, that is stalled and remains very quiet here. But on the child tax credit, one of the key people that we regularly talk to about this was Senator Joe Manchin. He has made clear that he wants to see a work requirement in this if it were to go forward. So that could be a point of commonality as we look ahead here. There are also other Democratic senators who point out that this is a program that slashed child poverty in this country during the several months that it was in effect. Now, a study from January, the month after those checks stopped coming, showed that 3.7 million more kids in America were in poverty, and we've seen these things break down along racial lines before. Black and brown kids were more impacted in that study as we saw the rise in child poverty. So clearly an impact of the program that slashed child poverty and then is no longer in effect as Americans still grapple with what it means to not get those checks every month.
Personally, I'd like to see a lot more bipartisan support on everything in Congress, everything in Congress. But you let me know. I'd like to see it. I have optimism here. I'm an optimist. I like to see the glass half full instead of half empty. You could let me know what you are. There's some negative people out there. There's some positive people out there. It really just depends on the type of person you are. But there's a lot of different things going on here in Congress and on the state level. If you've been watching my show here, I'm here to bring you the news on everything going on here in our country, as well as this whole Russia incident. If that happens, it's going to affect our whole country. I get some comments on, what does this have to do with our country? It's going to really, really affect us here. I don't want to necessarily say World War III. I don't particularly think that's going to happen. But I think it's going to affect us here greatly. Not even just so with the price of gas, but we'll have to see what really happens here with us. But it does look like it's just, if you just kind of look at all the steps that are kind of leading up to everything, I think even some of the people that didn't think it was going to happen, I'm starting to see more and more comments. I'm just a realist. I don't want it to happen, but it's just, I just don't think there's 200,000 troops there at the border that are there just to play chess to get together in the freezing cold. The only way I think that if they're going to back down is if Putin takes all these sanctions now from the EU as well, and from US and from NATO, and they really consider it, but and say this is just too much consequences for us to bear. But at this point, it doesn't seem like he cares about those. But all the EU nations now going to say that they're not going to trade with them. They're not going to buy their oil. They're going to be shut out of them financially. And he's still not. He still doesn't care. So it just looks like it's still going to happen. If you just look, I'm a realist. So I'm just looking at what's happening, what they're saying, what they're doing. And it just seems like it's going to happen. You let me know your thoughts here. I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country, all stimulus news, everything going on here on the state level. I just did 2 really big videos that you should watch if you haven't yet. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel first. If you haven't done so yet, it's completely free to do so you don't miss out on new videos. Just click the subscribe button and then click the bell icon next to it. If you haven't done so, it's completely free. Remember that new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I just did this video here on SNAP benefits, Social Security benefits, and pandemic EBT benefits. And then this video about millions and millions of dollars you can claim here through other stimulus type programs. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.